I am Jody Nordstrom here with Cellar Notes. Joining us today is Dave Reddy Jr. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your winery?
Well, we're in Alexander Valley, up in the Sonoma County. We've been around since 1985. Started by my father, Tim Murphy and Dale Good. And Tim and Dale were grape growers. My dad was a wine guy. They decided they should start a winery.
Very nice. Why don't you tell us a little bit about each of your wines we have here today?
Hey, you bet. We have our Sauvignon Blanc with us today, which I make to be really bright and crisp, more citrus notes, but up through the tropicals. I make it to be really poolside appropriate. One of my favorite summer wines. We also have the Chardonnay. Most of that fruit's from Santa Barbara. And I make that to be really get a cocktail appropriate. No new oak. A little bit of malolactic, but really fruit forward, soft. Just really, more of a refreshing style of Chardonnay where you don't need a food to complement it. I also make other Chardonnays that do have more of the new French oak or new Minnesota oak. And for me, those are more food wines or at least Chardonnays to drink after sunset. We have our Pinot Noir, which comes from predominantly Monterey fruit. So really, nice notes of cherry. Really a wine I'm very proud of, especially, that we're offered it, or we're able to offer it at such a great price point. It's because we have a lot of estate vineyards throughout the coastal part of California. So we have a lot of grapes to choose from and just able to make a really nice Pinot Noir. Our Merlot, again, North Coast, predominantly from Mendocino County, a little bit of Napa, a little bit of Alexander Valley, some Knights Valley, also in Sonoma. And really, it's a Merlot that has great tannin. It's not a wimpy wine by any stretch of the imagination. It's got some guts, but great fruit. It has a jamminess to it that I've been loving. I've been traveling a lot over the last couple of months. And so, when I travel and I'm out, calling on accounts, doing wine dinners, stuff like that, I really have a great chance to taste all these wines on a regular basis. And that's one that has really been sticking out where it's like, wow, this tastes so great right now. It's exciting. Cabernet, Cabernet is king. And again, this is predominantly North Coast as well. Mostly Mendocino County. Mendocino, just north of Sonoma, growing some really great grapes up there. And it's, not all that dissimilar to Sonoma. You still get, some nice big tannins, blackberry, still a little bit of cherry, really some wonderful, wonderful fruit. And then Lyre's Dice is in my all-time favorite, nighttime wine. I love to grill baby back ribs. It is, for me, like the perfect pairing, or pulled pork sandwiches. It's just a great barbecue wine, great wine to just laugh with and build camaraderie. That's that spicy black raspberry. And keep it really jammy and keep the fruit fresh. Some zins get a little bit of that prune to raisin quality, which people like as well. But I try to keep mine really fresh, keep it almost juicy. So once you have a glass, you really want a second glass.
There's a rumor going around that you are a Minnesota Vikings fan, and that is why you have purple wine labels.
That's absolutely true. My dad was the marketer of the marketing genius, or of Murphy-Goode, and he grew up in Long Prairie, Minnesota, and I grew up in Edina. And graduated from Edina High School, which is where I got all of my wine knowledge at Edina High School, and so we chose purple because yes, we are huge Vikings fans, and of course now we even have our Murphy-Goode Viking helmets, which are a huge hit all over the country. I don't know, something about those helmets. People like to put them on. I guess allows you to have a little more fun.
Very cool. If you could make wine anywhere other than the United States, where would your ideal location be to open up another winery?
Well, for a while I lived in McLarenville in Australia and had a wonderful time there. I was 23, 24 years old. And, so I guess I'd have to say, if I couldn't be in California, I'd want to be in McLarenville. And, the Australians I find to be very similar to Minnesotans. Minnesotans, we love camaraderie. We love to get together, barbecue together. Friendship's very important. We all for some reason, are incredibly nice. And you know, the Australians were very similar to that. You know, they spoke funny, but you know, I just really had a wonderful, wonderful time there. And so I'd want to, you know, reconnect with those friends and be there.
Perfect. I know that you're a big part of Operation Homefront.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Operation Homefront is a nonprofit organization that provides emergency funds to military families that are left behind as, you know, the warriors go off across seas, you know, that need help, but then also are there to assist returning soldiers, vets. Things is, you know, so it can be something as simple as paying an electric bill, fixing a car, to actually redoing a house to make it handicap accessible, if that's something that needs to be done. But you know, also making sure that they're getting the care that they need. And you know, I think it's just it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. You know, a lot of us, you know, kind of take for granted, you know, the sacrifices that are being made to allow us to take things for granted, you know, quite honestly. And I think that's part of what makes, you know, the United States the best country in the world, is that we live in bliss and happiness, and it's because of the sacrifices that are being made for us.
Absolutely. All right, well, it was very nice getting to talk with you today.
Yeah, my
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for coming. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, thank you.